everybody, this is Sarahscopic and you're watching Traffic Musings. So for any of those of you who are in my live stream or who were there for this particular part of my live stream, you may have heard that I accidentally caused a small little phenomenon. Not really, it's just kind of an inside joke from the live stream, at which point I at some random point, probably because I could not beat the boss battle that took me 7 hours, I all of a sudden exclaimed loudly and proudly, "DANGIS Khan." And to be completely honest, I don't know why it slipped out of my mouth, but it did. And I decided that I would therefore today tell you about my history with swearing, which is not really much of a history at all. Because for people who have been part of my show long enough, and those who know me, know that I don't swear that often. Oh no, I need this again. I don't really swear that often. I think I swear more now than I ever used to, but that's still not very much. And to be honest, it highly depends on the situation I'm in. I have chosen not to swear as much as possible, although I have broken that rule several times on the Sarahscopic show. I'm pretty good in Traffic Musings, but certain video games just kind of get the swearing out of me. But anyway, I try not to, not because I have anything against swearing. I don't really care when people swear. It's actually more of a personal commitment of mine in order to try to engage with my vocabulary more. I just have found that a well-placed swear word is always good, and it can be for comedic reasons. But to be honest, I have found that people seem to especially find it hilarious when you make up your own random words that have no meaning, like DANGIS Khan. What? And so that's what I kind of challenge myself to do. Although, as I will explain in a second, unfortunately, because I'm not always very good at coming up with random replacement swears, I kind of actually start just going to the same random words that aren't swear words, but kind of almost has the same effect of it just becomes almost meaningless. Anyway, that's a whole thing. We're gonna get to that in a second. What I'm trying to say is that I just don't really swear often, and I don't really, like I said, I don't really care. Not really a big deal. If you've watched the show with my brother, he makes fun of me all the time for not swearing. He's like, we don't swear in the Sarahscopic show, and I every single time remind him that he can swear. I just have chosen not to, and that's okay. I don't care. I think part of the reason, though, is because I was kind of conditioned. I think we all were, right? We were all conditioned from a young age to not swear. And I think I was quite a bit more conditioned. I don't know. At the very least, I have some very strong memories of having more, getting in trouble more often for swearing than maybe my brother did. For example, this is a memory that sticks out to me, and it's the most ridiculous thing ever, but it sticks out to me because I think it really influenced the way that I chose to speak about people. So when I was in, I don't know, 2nd grade, I think, my brother was, of course, at the time, was he in probably 5th grade at that point? Yeah, I think that sounds about right. He was 3 years older than me. Anyway, he was like preteen, almost a teenager. So he, of course, would say such ridiculous words like stupid and crud. And so when I was that age, I would hear these words. Now, when in my elementary school, we were a bunch of prim and proper folk, at least the ones that I hung out with, that we thought the words shut up and stupid were swear words. So I knew from a young age, just don't say those. I knew that it was okay for my brother to say them, but it was not okay for me to say them. And so I was very careful, especially in school. And one day, so ridiculous every time I think about this. One day, I was with my friends. We were on the playground, and there's a tire swing. There were 2 tire swings, and you have to understand the culture of my elementary school cohort at the time. The tire swing, there were different styles of pushing the tire swing, and usually people wanted to actually be swinging the tire swing, but some people were very good pushers, and I was one of those people. I almost never got to go on the tire swing because all my friends wanted me to push it. And so I would do that, and I was especially really good at what I think we called a tornado, although it started to be we weren't allowed to do the tornado. I think was the one we weren't allowed to do. That's when you just spinned it around so it went in circles because people got sick. But you could, but there were other ways, but I was really good at still swinging it and pushing it, where you technically pushed it, but you still add a little bit of a swing to it. It was an art form, okay? Pushing tire swings was an art form back then that I was darn good at. Anyway, I do not need to justify myself to you guys. But there was the tornado, there's the kind that I could do really well, and I can't think of what it was called. And then there was the ding dong. The ding dong was when you just push the tire swing back and forth. Now, the idea of the ding dong was how you were supposed to actually do it, because there was a bar, and the actual idea is you pushed it so hard enough that the tire swing actually hit the bar, but you couldn't do that. So instead it was just going back and forth. And so my friends were on the tire swing and I was pushing, of course, and they were telling me about how, the ding dong, no one wanted to do the ding dong because no one found that fun. And I said, because I thought it was okay, and I decided to kind of be cool for a second because I felt cool at that moment, and I said, yeah. Gabby, I'm trying to tell a story, you're ruining the moment. Sorry guys, Gabby's trying her best. So me trying to be cool, they were complaining about the ding dong, and I said, yeah, the ding dong is stupid. And I kid you not, my friends stopped swinging on the tire swing, got off the tire swing, and told on me to the teacher that I said a bad word. Yes, this actually happened to me. I know. What great friends were they? So they went down, they told on me. I start crying because I started feeling so guilty. And I could tell that my elementary teacher at the time, she was Miss Tracy, but she became Mrs. Reynolds. I could tell that she, knew this really, because when she first heard the word stupid, she was surprised because I was usually a good kid. And she ventured and she found out that I had called a thing stupid. So I really didn't get in trouble because, stupid wasn't really a bad word, and they said no put-downs. I was one where, never say a put-down. Don't call someone stupid. But I didn't call someone stupid. I called a thing stupid. And so they didn't really care, but I was so upset, and my friends got so mad that she had me sit on the bench, which back then in elementary school was that's where you went when you were in trouble, is you sat on the bench. And she's like, okay, Sarah, why don't you just sit on the bench until you calm down a little bit? So in retrospect, I wasn't actually in trouble. She was just doing that because I was practically hysterical at that point. But it made it almost worse because I was like, oh my gosh, I got in trouble for saying the word stupid. So I was very careful to never say the word stupid in elementary school. Although my elementary school, which went up to 4th grade, so when you were 4th grader, of course, you were the king of the block or whatever. And I remember my friends and I would then start to say the word stupid and shut up. That was the big one. Being able to say shut up was a big one that you could have gotten in trouble for, but once you're in 4th grade, no one told on you for saying shut up. So we relished in our ability to be able to say those terrible, terrible words. But even as I grow older, I said stupid and shut up, but I was pretty careful not to say like the words crap and suck. I did not start saying until high school, which is a little sad, but it was because of one specific thing that happened to me. And my mother is going to she probably doesn't even remember this happened, but I remembered it very clearly. And so when I was in middle school, so that was around 13, 14, that was finally the time where I was allowed to, it really didn't matter what TV shows and stuff I watched, swearing wasn't much a big deal. More and more people were willing to swear in front of me, including my brother who was in high school at this point, so of course he was swearing like a sailor, and even my mother started a little bit. But one time I was coming out of the room, and I think I told my brother about how, something was crappy, or something that was crap. I think I may have also used the word sucked. And my mom got mad. She heard me say it, and she said, Sarah, you don't say those words. And I kind of looked at her funny, because I had literally just a day ago had heard her use the exact same words, and so I was very confused. And so basically, I just internalized that to mean, oh, I'm not old enough to use those words yet. I also thought it was kind of, sorry, I need to do this back and forth because the sun keeps shining. Anyway, I also was very confused because my brother was allowed to say those words, but I wasn't allowed to because I was in middle school apparently. So I didn't even say crap or suck until, that sucks or something like that until high school. And at which point I did not get in trouble for it anymore. Although this led to some hilarious situations where I would all of a sudden, something surprising would happen because I would have to say different words. I'd have to learn to say different words for when I was shocked about something. So crud was a word I would actually use for when I was surprised about something. So it was something surprising, I would go crud, and it sounded like PG rating stuff, and it was hilarious. One of my favorite, like, non-swear words that I use nowadays that my friends make fun of me for is Jeezers. I spell it I spell it G-E-Z-Z, I spell it G-E-E-Z-E-R-S, so it looks like the word geezers, but it's Jeezers, because it comes from the word G's, which, anyway, you spell it with a G. Most people spell it with a J. It makes sense why. I don't know why. I just started saying it one day, and so then I just keep saying it, and it's an automatic response. I say it when something's shocking. I'm like, Jeezers, and stuff like that, and my friends always make fun of me for it, because it sounds ridiculous. Goodness is another word I will sometimes say out of shock. That was a high school favorite of mine, because I didn't want to say, oh my God, and I didn't want to say, like, other swear words, and so I would say, like, goodness. And that, of course, made me sound like a 70-year-old lady who's like a school teacher forever. Goodness. And so that's one that sometimes comes out. It doesn't come out as often as Jeezers, but it comes out every once in a while. It's always quite funny when it does. But, there are times when sometimes swear words do come out. When something like when I'm really like mad, that's kind of when they start coming out. So sometimes you'll just hear me go like, oh shit. Or, just something like that. Like when I'm trying to play a game and I'm really pissed off, that's when I've reached the point of like total what is when I start doing that. So if I'm actually really, really mad, then I do start cursing a bit, but it also does depend on how many people are in the room. That's actually a huge factor for me. If it's me and one other friend of mine that we're talking, like especially if it's my brother or a closer friend of mine, I'll start swearing a little bit more. Like I said, I'll start swearing a little bit more. If I'm in a huge crowd of people, like, you'll never hear it out of my mouth. I'm very careful. But when it's like just one-on-one, or honestly, the fewer people there are, the more I curse. And this goes up to its logical conclusion, where if I'm in a whole crowd of people, I will never curse, unless I'm streaming, apparently. But that's because you guys aren't in the room with me. If you guys are actually in the room with me, that's a whole different story. But I'm by myself. But it also goes in the other way around. If I know I am completely by myself in something, it gets bad. The cursing gets really bad when I'm really mad. But then again, I get more angry easily when I'm by myself. So like, if I can't get something to work and I'm by myself, I start like kicking, I start screaming, I start saying the F word even, like it gets bad. But when I'm not by myself with a bunch of people, I can usually control it better. So, for example, actually, the live stream that I keep using is actually a good example. It took me like 7 hours or so to do that one boss battle. If I was by myself when that happened, I would not have reacted the way that I did. I would have actually probably been kicking. I probably would have like quit the game for a little bit. I don't rage like, throw the controller or anything like that. I usually like go to something I can throw and throw that, or like throw something on the ground that I know won't break. But I'm usually pretty careful in that. And if there's like nobody home, then the screaming just happens. But if someone's home, I try to keep it under control. I knew I was in front of a crowd of people, so I tried to keep my cool, because I don't like showing that much anger, because it makes me feel a little bit weird. And so, but when I'm by myself, it's okay. And that includes with the swearing. As long as I'm by myself, then becomes like a sailor. When I'm not, well, it just doesn't end well. That's all you need to know. Yeah, I think we've talked long enough about me and my swearing habits, so we'll just end this here. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I hope something amazing happens to you. Without further ado, I hope to see you all in the next episode. Bye-bye!